Rez will have a flash and a smoke for his squad, a focus immediately towards the A bomb site. But Hampus is headed elsewhere. We'll see what he has to do with this later on. Rez with a lineup. Will that be for top connector? This Brolin will go fishing. He's got the gun for the range. His teammate, oh, that one tap. What a great way to begin. All about how you finish, though. Brokey on an island. Flash is coming through. 2 by Sandwich having a quick boost. Not seeing much of anything. Brokey still standing for now, but Config will trade. There's a lot of frags for NIP on this bomb site, and Twist is wondering where all his teammates have gone. Always a dab hand of a pistol, though, be it a CZ or a USP. Never count Twist out. Oh, one tap to start the proceedings, looking for the flanker. Got to try and find his 1v1s, giving the sound cues, trying to bait a look from somewhere. He knows somebody must be behind him. Where is that kit from Carrigan earlier on? Twist has 2 more to find. Surely he'll have to collect that kit, though. Doesn't go for the reload. So dangerous is Twist, so close. Switching to the P2000, quick 180. Can he find it? No, just too much to ask there as NIP take the pistol.
And the yelling begins early. NIP in the mood here on Mirage. What a start that was. The initial P250 shot was fantastic. It just allows that pace to be fast onto the A site. That's just so,
very nice.
So clean.
I think that's what Twist picked up at the end, actually. The P250. Either way, head trick put him out of his misery. He's so dangerous, though. He was close to that shot onto Tetris. Very unusual mouse grip for Twist. But very devastatingly good with it. It'll be the force buy then for Faze Clan, having lost a pistol on their CT side. They're fully invested. Not 1, but 2 scouts in this one. The Desert Eagles as well.
Yeah, very exciting when Twist is in good form. I think he's a man to watch at this event. If Faze want to go deep, he can be that player that really pushes them over the edge. For NIP, it's all about holding on here. Always a little curious when you get the 2 scouts out, neither of them in the hands of your AWPer. Rookie's got the Deeg instead. But Carrigan is just having that long-range angle on B-apps. And we know that Twist can hit headshots. This slow mid control has worked for NIP, and just now sneaking into connector. A little dangerous here for Hampus if he gives away this one-on-one fight. The rest of NIP waiting outside A. Here is Hampus, first contact.
Range position is very key. Doesn't find anything in this one, though. That will be a severely weakened A bomb site then. Twist suggesting somebody's in that shadow, trying to buy some time for Faze. 27 seconds, there's a chance for mayhem if Faze can stop this bomb from being planted. Hampus' position is very key, holding down jungle in the meantime. But Rops is here with the Deagle from short. Head trick now, planting the bomb as the smoke is up on connector. That'll be a relief, but there's more work to do because Faze have got the man advantage. Hampus is tagged and Rops was on the way. He's found himself a rifle. That clock is ticking, there's no kit for the Faze squad. How long does Hampus hold this for? Brokey has to wait for his teammates to run distraction in the meantime, and Carrigan's made his way onto the bomb site, only to fall to Brolin. Now the danger is mostly over. Hampus can enjoy jungle, and NIP can secure the second round.
Yeah, Faze almost got a little baited in there by the fact that Rops gets those 2 kills. The retake seemed unlikely, but those shots from Rops must have been incredible. Long range, all the way from short. It's DGL who you can hear hyping up NIP for their strong start early. This was that initial kill from Brolin. Rain got caught out, but Rops, that's the initial shot. That's the follow-up. So clinical that Faze thought they had a chance with the man advantage. But NIP do good enough work in the post-plant. Faze still with some pistols in this round, but pretty well handled by that one for NIP. I hope they can do the same again.
Rops is a fantastic student of the game, but also the furniture around the game. Nothing is taken for granted. He's a man with an eye for detail, be it peripherals, mice, technology, everything. Very, very focused. Had lots of conversations with him about CS and the things around it.
Great mollies. That's beautiful. Molly both sides of the ladder room.
Yeah.
Nothing that Rops can do. I love that. That's a great way to clear it. When you know you're against pistols, You don't need to peak ladder him. Molly on both sides, and boom, man advantage.
He was purely a passenger when those wine bottles came flying. Still a dangerous round for NIP with the pistols being wielded by Faze Clan. Rain very capable with only a pistol as well. Little jiggle. Close but not quite. Head trick ready for it. Meticulous from NIP. Moving into the A-bomb site, and all position is lost for Faze then. I don't know, man. I don't want to peek twist. If I'm NIP, don't give him the kills. It really isn't necessary.
I mean, at the same time, though, now you've given him the AK, which he can save into the next round. So that's already terrifying. I think it's really nice here, though, for NIP that they've shown a good ability to play these methodical, slow rounds early in the half. Sure, it's against lower buys, but they look very composed at the start of Mirage. That's a good sign. And looks like they will focus their own economy, which is understandable here. Carrigan through the murder hole. They call it that for a reason. Hampus will find a freebie. But the first true test is about to come as FaZe are about to get their guns out. And that is including that AK that's been saved in the hands of Twists.
That's a hell of a play. I'd imagine we'll see a lot more of that from people who are watching. All these teams, even in their warm-up, will, while they are allowed to have their phones, we're keeping an eye on the stream and seeing how people are doing in the other matches and so on. A lot of focus on the strats on display. A fight for mid then, and Rops has got places to be. Charging up mid, completely blind and still sending it. Senses config stuck in the door. He's in trouble. What can Carrigan do in the meantime? Sorry, Hampus, that is, in the underpass. Rops taking the off angle, but surely Config's got a better angle on Rops. Indeed he does. Brokey creeping through now. Config could be vulnerable here. Head will be revealed soon, but what angle will Brokey have? Starting to fall back quietly. Still be a smoke in the window. Advantage NIP.
Still mid-control for FaZe. That is one upside of Brokey sticking around. Although Config just sneaks out and Brokey wasn't 100% ready for that angle. So taking damage, he's forced back. NIP able to deny the opening move of FaZe. Now they just need to prove they can convert this man advantage.
.40 seconds on the clock. Individual performance from FaZe will be required on this A-bomb site because they are woefully outnumbered. No one near short to help that connector position for Rain either. NIP edging forward. 2-1 ramp, 1 in Palace. Rain is a big target in this round. Again, his position is so key. Config goes in, but Hampus will trade. That's the space created for FaZe, but there's a rotation. For NIP, sorry, but there's a rotation down to the 3-on-3. That bomb needs to get planted. Carrigan has emerged in that short position now as they desperately try to get the bomb planted. Brokey looking up, twist on the spray. Head trick barely surviving. Post plant now, 2 kits on the 3 players. Hampus creeping towards short, dropping Carrigan with a great burst. Things are made awkward for Brokey and Twist. Head trick lining them up. And now we're down to a 2-on-2. Rez's flank is going to be so key. Does Hampus make a move first as FaZe close in on that bomb? Looks like it will be Rez dropping Brokey. Now Twist is in so much trouble. Wondering where that second player is. Immediate abandoned ship for Twist as he looks to fall back and save this rifle. NIP keep the clean sheets.
Oh yeah.
Nice.
The way they're winning these rounds aren't like crazy hype, but they're bringing the hype anyway. And if anything, it's more impressive to me that they are looking methodical on their Mirage play right now. See the opening move from FaZe just not working out. Rops, or maybe not realizing that peek from Config would be so good. You'd be able to see the shoulder first. And then Rez, just a nice move into CT, makes it impossible for FaZe to do a great deal.
I'm amazed Rops even survived that long, swinging top mid, eating all of the flashbang just out there. Promising start for NIP.
I was maybe a little surprised we didn't see mid-round aggression from FaZe once they went a man down. They seemed very happy to sit back and wait to see if NIP's site take would be solid, and it was. And now Faze's buy is limited. Brokey and Twist getting the premium weapons. The rest of the squad will have to make do with what they can.
Still a dangerous round for NIP. Be it the rifles or the SMGs. One smoke in the hands of Rain for the CTs, playing close to ramp. If they can keep the numbers up, Faze, if they can avoid getting dropped in the next 15-20 seconds, then who knows what they can do. The brigade of NIP players coming through connected. Twist has a fantastic angle, and karrigan could raise the alarm. He could be the early warning system. Smoke is there. Twist swinging through it. Can he find two? A multi-frag for him. karrigan is delivering as well. Suddenly it's a 2-on-4 for NIP, and Faze look good for their first round. Rez spotted in connector. 1v4, 35 seconds. He can keep them poor at the very least by trying to take some more hands away. Need some more kills. Double peek from Faze, and they survive with 4.
Just great timing from Twist. Sees that smoke's coming up. Figures, I can swing into this angle. He can roughly predict what angle he needs to be aware of. It's not like he's opening himself up to loads of different positions, so he can quickly react. And that's the lineup. That's the spray with the distraction coming in from the other side at the same time. Faze, the reigning Cologne champs, finally on the board with their first round here at IEM Cologne 2023. And NIP want an instant timeout, it seems. Not happy that that round against the weakened buy went so poorly for them. Just getting crunched in connector. Got to give credit to Faze for that, but obviously NIP not too happy about it.
3 AK-47s in the hands of Faze Clan. This will be quite the round. Finally on the board then, Faze. Been a struggle at the beginning for them, but after a flurry of rounds from NIP, after the pistol and 3 more, can NIP stop any momentum for Faze? This will be an important one. Early flashes, 3 players top mid for NIP. Not swinging to the boxes just yet. Twist not shy to have a look. He's got support in the underpass. See mollies, the barrels. Config dropped alone. Awkward for Headtrick to try and respond to that. Waiting for a rotation, but the smoke will secure the retreat. Faze will sit on the 5v4 as long as they can.
Nicely done. And now Twist even takes AWPing duties now that he's low on health. You want that smoking connector anyway to stall NIP from moving up, so it allows Twist to fall back, but it's also useful for Faze on their side. And now we'll see if they're just happy maintaining this man advantage. Brokey backing up the B site. They're actually boosting a player onto the B site.
That could be devastating, especially if karrigan baits. Headtrick's going to be the utility man. If all goes well, perhaps he stays in the apartments and posts up with the AWP. But let's see if it gets that far. There are a few players here for NIP. Just 2 for Faze, and again, see if karrigan can survive more than 1. Rez dropped, bomb spotted, full rotation on the way. Rain looking for lurkers in mid, but the reinforcements are absolutely here for Faze. And there's that boost coming to play. No answer yet from NIP, but Headtrick will deliver. And now it's just down to Headtrick, 1 versus 4. Stays in the apartment, maybe just to save the AWP at this point. Nothing else to be done.
Good round from Faze, and they might try and deny Headtrick's save here. That time is about to expire, and if he dies after time, he could be in trouble. Good shot onto Rain. That will keep him safe. Important that Headtrick did that because he would have had no money if he were to fall after time. But well played by Faze. I love that once they get the man advantage, they just fall back into that 2-1-2 setup. They say, okay, let's just make sure we have solid enough sight holds on both sides of the map. We don't need to maintain mid-control. We can just rely on a cheeky little boost play, catching Brolan off guard, and making life easy for the rotating players. As for NIP, money has run dry. Headtrick's had a pretty decent start here, but he's going to have to do something exceptional to get his team into this round.
A well-timed gimmick like that boost can be so devastating as well. When it breaks your economy, opens the floodgates for Faze Clan. That's how it should be anyway. Let's see if this AWP can get anything done. Let's Rob see some targets towards top mid, head trick included. What is the next avenue then to go for? Very strong position for Brokey. Great for information. Can allow Faze to focus more on that A-bomb site. It's got full nades if he needs it. Let's see what Hampus does later on. Everybody barreling up towards the A-bomb site. Now, will Hampus try to pull players away first? Config's been spotted, but what if Head Trick takes his place?
And nade'll do nicely. Ooh, Head Trick will do nicely on his AWP shot though. Rop's removed. Config gonna clear under, but Twists lands the shot. And I think that may have taken the sting out of the round. And Head Trick may well be considering the save. Hampus has nothing to save, but Brokey will put him out of his misery anyway. And so back-to-back rounds where Head Trick would prefer just to hold on to his AWP. We heard in the pre-game, Yanko pointing out both m0NESY and Head Trick came through the Na'Vi youth ranks. And Head Trick plays much more like Shiro, if you want a top-tier AWPer comparison. Whereas he was saying, you know, m0NESY maybe plays a bit more like Simple. But I like that Head Trick's composed style. He's landing shots, you can see it starting out okay for him. It's been a good, solid recovery from Faze, though. Damn, that FPS, man. I wish I had that much. It's hitting like 800.
It's not bad at all.
Not shabby.
NIP on the buy once again. Util will be reasonable. Not all the flashes in the world. Once they have finished their early work in top mid, let's see what Util they're left with. Keeping 3 flashes in the hole for the time being. Again, when it's time to execute on a bomb site, those will be very important. Minute 30. Both teams will hold off to some degree in mid, but there are question marks for Faze Clan.
Yeah, NIP will slowly have their players coming in through underpass. And Faze have been pretty content sitting back for the most part, not making crazy opening moves. The one time that they did, Rops got denied on that top mid aggression. Once they've been sitting back, it seems to be working out for them. Rops trying to use this angle. Very common when this smoke is up to try and take this fight. And it's a quick trade from Rez. He was ready for that. Brolan also giving NIP the man advantage.
Problems on A then. Carrigan. It's going to be hard for him to defend that connector position. It's already been compromised. He has a smoke for it. He's going to have to wait for a late play. Bombs being collected from top mid then. 39 seconds on the clock. And Faze are quite spread out. It's going to be hard for them to help each other in this scenario. Rotating towards that A-bomb site. Brokey doesn't know what the climate is in that jungle position. Been playing from the shop for most of this.
Ooh.
Okay, that's not ideal. And the swing is coming in. Rain's got the sound cues, but can he deliver the frags? No one else has an angle for him. Rain finds 2. Bombs on the floor. 10 seconds to plant it. They don't have time to secure all of this. Carrigan creeping through the smoke. Config's just about seen him, but Carrigan delivers. Head Trick, how can he do this? That distraction will be enough. There isn't time for it. And Faze will tie the score.
Hype coming in from Faze after that round win. That was a massive step up from Rain on the bomb site. You're down in a 3v4. You need someone to deliver a multi-kill. And I was worried that Rain was going to be concerned about Palace after that smoke from Brokey missed. But he just took the chance. He realized he hears stats through ramp. Why not just take the fight to them? The double spray ended up being a massive difference maker. I think NIP might go for a pacier round now. It's been slow up until this point, but with the pistols in their hands, why not take a risk and try and up the pace? Oh, Faze have the read on this, though. They've got 3B.
I see some HEs. I see a Brokey with an AWP as well. Haven't fully committed into this one. Config. Very nice. That makes them a little bit weaker, Faze. And there's still a minute 20 for NIP to play with. No flashes remain. Running low on the numbers now. You can see Rops just out there in the middle of mid. Twist is here for support as well. M4 will certainly help. They'll be happy with that. Just the one loss for Faze as they take the lead over NIP. A promising start for NIP, but 5 rounds in a row from Faze Clan, including multiple timeouts, will leave NIP wanting. And they've got to be frustrated with how some of these advantages have not been converted by the squad.
Yeah, it's such a good read from Faze in this round as well. Even if you don't get all the kills on B, you just use so much of NIP's utility. And you can see the money on Faze starting to build off the back of those 5-round wins in a row. Window smoke a little late. Brokey will set up an incendiary into top mid. There are a couple of players there, but the incendiary didn't land. That's a shame for Faze. Rops was trying to swing with that incendiary, but no one forced a peek on the NIP side.
I want to see somebody get pre-fired a few seconds after the smoke is up.
Yeah, when they're lining that up.
That's what I want to see.
Yeah, that
Where's
could
the
happen.
pre-fire at?
At some point, someone will come up with it. Faze are staying a little more sticky on mid this round. They used 2 incendiaries there. Really not trying to make it easy for NIP to move forward. And now Faze go for that mid-round aggression into ramp, and there's no one here to deny.
NIP have barely used their util though. They seem heavily prepared for an execute. 4 mollies still in their hands as we're heading towards that 40-second mark. Again, another slow one. Will they be going for a split of the B bomb site perhaps? Or maybe just a barrel in multiple smokes in mid. Config top boxes, everybody else in the apps. Hampus with the smoke lined up for the window. They will need a lot of chain flashes. Brokey is posted up in a very strong position. Avoiding the flashes for now. Carrigan's blind though, but they still have the angles. 20 seconds, there's bomb plant pressure, but Config's made it all the way up short. But Brokey's got a job to do. He's got to keep standing. The threat has to remain as they look to plant the bomb. Has he done enough? Twist is here. 14 seconds to get that bomb planted, and he's been dropped, and no one else has position. 3-on-2 for NIP as that bomb's planted. Rain creeping, waiting to be given something. Config's got such a good angle on Rops though. And what is left for Rain to do? 4,000 in the bank. He's got a kit. Made a step. But will he commit to this one? Still having a look. Needs to be given something, but they'll avoid the engagement. And he'll have to get out of that. NIP back to winning ways.
Yeah, and NIP back to those slow rounds. Happy to take their time. Rain getting another kill on the exit. But I'm a little surprised we didn't see the full information play from Faze when the time started running low there. I thought we might see someone just take a risk, look for information, because NIP were allowed to set up that B take with little time remaining. And you saw just how strong it was once they had that split in through short. Light work for NIP, even though Brokey tried his best, even though he landed a couple of great shots. There's just too many riflers swarming the site. Config arriving from short. And NIP finally put a stop to that Faze winning streak, bringing it back to even on the score line. Oh, Hampus was not ready for that.
It's great to see Brokey in flow state, just delivering frag after frag when he is feeling it. He won't be shy to go for something crazy. How do they escape this position though? While they're stuck down here, can NIP abuse this and find something somewhere else? The flash is here as Config looks back. Rain is ready for him. NIP not finding a play to be had just yet. Oh, he's a footman, but Rops says no. Rez and Brolan remain 2 versus 5. So much work to be done. Doesn't look like it's going to happen in this round. Rez can collect the bomb. But what does he do? 1 minute on the clock. Rez versus the world.
Need some mistakes here to have any chance. They are going to push him. And Rez hits the first headshot. Carrigan also hits the deck. There's actually a wide open B bomb site for a time being, but Brokey will arrive and might just be able to land this shot. It's going to be hard for Rez to beat the AWP on this angle. Tries to pre-fire it, baits out the AWP shot. Gives himself a slim chance. He's still trying to find a way in, but Brokey denies. And Faze hold on, and that was a really nice mid-round adjustment from Faze when they had those players trapped in underpass. They call for Rain to flash Rops into mid. They make it so that there's another player helping those players in underpass. And it's also great to see Brokey in this level of form early. His AWPing is so fun to watch. That mid-range combat AWPing style works well for him.
Rez passed 2 smoke grenades after getting those kills in the apps. If he'd collected one of those, then who knows how far he could have gone. It will be just Rez in this one with an AK-47. Rest of the team will be dangerous though with the Tech-9s. Oh, Twist could get caught off here by Config. Thinks better of it, keeps the gun out. Doesn't know what lies around the corner. Aggressive start from NIP, and they've got a lot of position. Resin Connector and Config by the ladder room. This is a promising start considering how dangerous what they're carrying is.
That smoke will fade soon, and then NIP will decide if they want to make a move off the back of it. Problem is, Brokey is so confident with his teammate peeking into ramp. He's happy to look for this fight, but he misses the shot. Now they can close the distance, so Rops does get run down. Potential here as Brokey finally lands a shot, and Rain also delivering from that ramp position. A big triple from Rain should deny NIP's chances in the round.
That was a high-pressure cleanup. We've seen clutches from Config before. 45 seconds. Not entirely sure where he is. Now they know. Rain will continue dueling. That's the 1v1 Config was looking for, but Brokey will put him out of his misery as Faze moved to 7.
Seeing some of the stars show up for Faze. Brokey's been brilliant throughout. Rain starting to deliver on that A site. I think Rain has been really solid as that A anchor whenever called upon. Definitely a great sign for Faze. And we always talk about how this Faze lineup, they've been together for a long time, but there's been no reason to make a change because you have Carrigan as a fantastic in-game leader, and the rest of the squad generally do a solid job. Sure, you'll have some players hit peaks and valleys in their form, but overall, you can't really complain with this lineup of players. Oftentimes, they'll take it in turns to top the scoreboard. For NIP, they had a 4-0 lead. They got off to a great start on this map, on a map that they've been so good on in the last 3 months. But Faze have taken over entirely, and now we've even got that second AWP out in the hands of Rops.
Faze proactive in changing their setups. Rops not quite seeing through the flames there. Can he fall back in time? Great support with that incendiary. Could have been very awkward otherwise. In the meantime, NIP will have presence in that mid position. Smoke on bottom connector for Faze. Always nervous around those Molotovs. Very difficult to see through them. Can feel harder sometimes with the scope.
Got to remember, both AWPers on the Faze side have shot now. So NIP know this is a double AWP setup. And now the question is, how do you respond to that? Do you just try and take a site quickly in the knowledge that those AWPs might struggle on a retake? The issue is, Faze are obviously aware of that fact too. Now Brokey rotates over to B. So if they were to try and take the B site, they'd have that AWP to contend with.
Brokey smoking the apps from the bin lineup. Good one to know, but look at the numbers coming towards that short position. Rops is going to help out. Oh, that's a swing and a miss from him, but the damage is already done for NIP. Second crack at the whip and head trick is dropped. NIP are really struggling to make inroads now in these T rounds. 2 on 5. Under pressure, Faze are delivering. Again, it gets deep early in this group stage, as it was yesterday, as it is right now. Immediately tense in these series. What will NIP do in this next round? These 2 rifles that might be saved. The loss bonus is high. Tech-9s are likely. Counter-terrorists win. Head trick with 34-50. Oh, that's never what you want to see in the last few ticks.
Heart in mouth moment there for Rez. But he's able to save his gun. I'm a little surprised they overlooked connector like this. I don't think they used any utility really to try and flush Rops out there. But I guess they were just so focused on Carrigan, who did exactly what he needed to. Credit to Carrigan there. Just took a few pot shots, got the info for his teammate, took the distraction so that Rops could line them up from behind. And now Rez with that AK again, trying this same play. The Faze seem to be aware that this buy is weakened. They don't want to give that AK any early opportunities. That's a good nade. Ooh, not as much as I thought. It's always awkward, those nades into ramp. If they land a little too low down, they seem to do very little damage. Nice little angle from Carrigan. Awkward timing for Rops, but he ducks away. And now even a flash into ramp for Rain, who will spot that there is no one here.
Brolan's still creeping, though. But how much is there to do for NIP? Second last round of the half. What is the goal here? It's not a question of damage. Really, it's a question of a stroke of luck and a round win for NIP. 50 seconds on the clock. Brokey always moving on that B bomb site, be it shot, bench, balcony. Never too static. As he positions himself for some more aggressive info. This will give Faze more confidence and expectation towards this A bomb site. Brolan's been in the palace this entire time. 20 seconds, and this one's about to get electric because these players need to die. Worst case scenario, they need that loss bonus. Hampus then is still with the rifle, but how far can he go? Rops holding down from jungle. 10 seconds and Brokey will finish off the job. Faze happy with that 9-5. After a cold start for them, they are running hot towards the end of this half.
Yeah, their team play looks solid. Their players are landing shots. And you have to remember, this is a map that NIP are normally incredible on. This is a map that NIP have only lost once in the last 3 months. They've had a 12-1 run on Mirage, and their most recent win on this map was against Vitality. So for Faze to be performing like this is very impressive. And maybe NIP want to go for something faster in the last round of the half.
Twist can raise the alarm, he's got plenty of sound cues. Rain falling back, dropping one, but the numbers game will be overwhelming, or will it? Down to a 2-1-2, Faze keep trading straight back. NIP have the bomb site, Rez is lurking though. He may be a key player here. The bomb's on the floor for the time being as Config tries to play for the round win. They've got the time to get that bomb later. Can't see much of anything just yet. Rez positioning himself, but Rops is so spatially aware. Escaping at just the right time. A Houdini act from him with the AWP. He might be going wide himself as well.
Silent drop. That is really nice. Might allow them to sneak in towards CT. Rez wants this duel, but it's an awkward timing. Carrigan was watching for it. And now Config has it all to do.
I think he heard Rops' rotation though, and he's passed the information to his teammate. One flashbang, better be a good one, because he needs to cross. He'll just about make it. Better get that bomb planted. 40 seconds, 1v1. Config unsure as to where Rops is coming from. Rops has a kit, picks up the M4. Config then in Palace, spots Rops. Oh, it's awkward on the ladder. Where does he go? Makes some space for himself with that smoke grenade. Comes just in time as well. A few places he could be. Trying to soften him up. That'll do a great job. Rops sees his army stuck in the corner. Config. Rops will win the duel, and Faze will have 10 at halftime. Julies for Brolan. Raid boss for Rops. Brokey will have a P250 as well, but he's naked.
Config seeing what he could find. Meanwhile, Brolan with those dualies up close, they can be deadly at this range. Brokey has a P250 right now. Config sticking around in top mid. That is valuable information, especially with the flash in. NIP might start to focus more on the bomb sites. And that would be the right read right now, because Faze are grouping outside of A. And NIP do look well prepared for this. 3 CTs towards this A site, but the utility from Faze could still cut off some of these CT players.
Where will Twist be going though? Is he going towards CT spawn or short? Lurking for the time being. as the push starts to come through. Hampus not moving just yet on that B bomb site. Faze edging forward on A, starting to show presence now. But Hampus is pushing apps, jumping out, going towards short. Karrigan Brokey dropping NIP on this A bomb site. Still have control of CT and jungle. Hampus on short now. Swiss starts to move, but now things are more urgent because he's the only one. Safe. Is he going to find an angle for this? They have no idea where he is yet, and that's to his advantage, but that is a long run for him. There's no kit on these CTs. Making his way towards jungle now. They still don't know where he is. Down goes Rez. 1 versus 2 for Twist, but Headtrick will deliver. Faze playing the long game, but couldn't keep their personnel alive on the bomb site.
Yeah, just too tricky for Twist there when it's planted default. Maybe if it's planted on the other side, he's got a chance of playing with the time and trying to make NIP second guess themselves. But as soon as he shows himself, NIP know he's in a tough spot. They know he's likely going to have to fight them. And Headtrick comes through with the quad kill in the pistol. Great to see impact from him. We heard Hampus talking in the pregame about how he thinks Headtrick can become a top 10 player in the world if he keeps improving at this rate. Good to see some of that potential there. We have got Galils out for Faze though. NIP have got to stay focused in this one.
A hell of a lot of Galils and almost no utility now. They've made their way towards top mid. Only a smoke remains. But they've definitely got the aimers very fast moving around as Karrigan creeps in. He's been spotted by Headtrick. He saw him obscure the light. But he's still alive for the time being. 10 bullets for Headtrick, and that'll be enough to drop Karrigan. Early advantage for NIP. Oh, Rez just pulls his knife out and turns away as they emerge in connector, and that could make a dramatic difference because Brolan's going to be in trouble on the A bomb site. Config trying to deliver, but the numbers game's overwhelming. Headtrick with a great tangle leaves Twist alone in a 1 versus 3. Can never count Twist out. Making his way towards ramp, he'll be heard, but who peeks first? Inviting them to have a look. Headtrick behind the smoke. Brolan starting to creep forward. Twist makes his way up. And that's a big second win for NIP. That's both pistols won and converted for NIP. Those are good stats on paper, but they still trail by 3.
Can't ask for much more on your map pick in terms of pistol round wins and conversions. NIP now need to prove they can do it in the later gun rounds. This one shouldn't be too tricky for them. Not a great deal for Faze to work with. A little awkward there for Rez. Got the timing slightly wrong on the fade of that smoke, it seemed. Faze were able to pounce on him. And Headtrick's rifle looking very solid. Always important nowadays that your AWPer can do good work with the rifle as well. And it will be really nice for NIP to take minimal casualties here. You want to build that CT economy as soon as possible because it can be so brittle. That is the perfect round for NIP, not losing a single player. But it was in the first half where they struggled so heavily once we got to those gun rounds. And Faze will now have the rifles available to them. Ooh, first timeout. First chance for Neo to call for a pause and talk to his team. New coach of Faze.
Looking great as well.
Looking fantastic.
Awesome to see him back in the mix.
How does he look younger now?
I know, right?
How's that possible?
Yeah, it's great to see Neo back in action, man.
Did hear Karrigan say they're going to slowly integrate Neo into the lineup, so maybe don't expect him to instantly be coming in and yelling at anyone.
Fresh pair of eyes is always good, though. Just looking at things from a different perspective can make the difference. We'll see as this series continues. 2-round lead for FaZe Clan. AKs versus the M4s. We'll see if Brolan knows his Galil spray. G2, I'm sure, will be heavily focused on this series as they will play the winner this coming Monday. That's tomorrow. Great start by NIP. No answer to that from FaZe, but a fight for mid isn't done just yet. That could be a meaty HE grenade. Indeed, it will be for Karrigan. Brokey pulling out the molly. As Karrigan swings, he'll be the point man for the time being, but NIP aren't done with this one just yet either. Hampus dropped in the meantime. Things start to slow down.
Real difference in approaches from these Team CT sides. You see when FaZe were fighting for mid, they were more around underpass. NIP commit into top mid. really go for those fights early, really take the fight to Faze. Now look at Brolan. This mid-round aggression could be well timed. The Galil arrives at the right time to give NIP the man advantage.
Rops lurking in mid with 13 HP. How do Faze turn this one around? Looks like Twist will go to join Rops. Where do they read the weakness for NIP with 4 or 5 players remaining? All noise is cut. No response from Brokey. Doesn't fire a shot. No free info. Jump spot will be enough though. That's not the bomb on the radar. Config's moving towards short. That could be a problem for Faze as the bomb makes its way into connector. Great angle for Rez as well. Smoke is up, bombs on the floor. 10 seconds. Faze have lost position here. Not much else for them to do.
Sick round for NIP, it has to be said. That is really convincing. I love that we get to see that fight into top mid, not just allowing Faze to set up their round. And then the mid-round aggression works even further for NIP. Not letting Faze set up any of their plays. They got that advantage from Brolan, who did good work with that Galil in Palace. And maybe a warning for Faze that they're not going to be allowed to play their own game here on the T side. NIP are going to take the fight to them. Half buy for Faze in this one. It looks like the instant A execute is the call.
Yeah, this is not a round where you want to take the fight to Faze with these pistols coming through. They've got the utility to close the distance as well. You can see that CT incendiary trying to limit where they can stand. Maybe trying to stop a bomb plant. Indeed, it will be the latter. Bombs coming though. Eventually, minute 23 on the clock. Smoke's all over the shop, but NIP have got a lot of utility to deploy. Smoke towards Palace. Brolan still standing, drops Carrigan. It's a very important frag for them. He hears a tag onto Rain as well. Rain's going to be in some trouble. Config's in T-spawn. Faze are surrounded. No kills for them just yet. Gonna try and do damage for the long run. Instant trade as Rez falls to Rain. Brokey will be the last one. 4 players stand for NIP. And they'll be vocal about it.
Yeah, that round is a lovely example of why, on Mirage especially, on that A site, it's most important that you are just all on the same page on the CT side. If you want to fight for the site, that's fine, you can do that, but you need some support. If you want to play retake, that can also work out great, especially if you still have a lot of nades, and as long as you can get yourself that flank, get yourself players in from all angles, it can work out very well. There's not that much cover on that A site that's good for the Ts to work with, especially if you have nades left. So well managed by NIP, everyone on the same page. Oh, that is cute. Headtrick and Config getting along well as we are all tied up, but Faze back on a bye, including that ult for Brokey.
Headtrick heading towards 20 kills on the CT side now. He could be very dangerous indeed, but we'll see what Faze are able to offer in this one. Again, Brolan taking liberties with the real estate Faze expect to have gifted to them. 4 players in mid for Faze. It's a lot of presence being shown. Big focus on connector. Molly's beyond the smoke and Carrigan will go in with a pop flash from his teammates. Taking connector by force are Faze. Not much util remaining for the squad. Smoke collected on short for Brokey. Now with Brolan's position in Palace, what is the read that NIP can make here again? Connector compromised very early, no position on shorts. They will put a 3rd man towards that B bomb site. Seems that Brolan's position in Palace will be enough for them.
That means you get the AWP of Headtrick, hard scoped on B. And look at the utility Faze have remaining. 2 flashes and a molly? These flashes have got to be on point to get Headtrick off this angle.
Jungle completely wide open.
Do they ever go back B? Well, not now.
Great drop by Rez, and there's all the information they need. Big headshot from Headtrick as he falls off. It might be a bait for Config if they get that far. Stuck in the apartments. Faze may not take ground on this bomb site. Twist, so much to do. In he goes. He's found a 1v1 for Hampus, but he'll win that duel. 4 survive again for NIP, and they take the lead.
Into the lead for the first time in a while. NIP flawless so far on their CT side. And I love that they go straight back to that Palace push. It's almost like human psychology to not expect someone to run the same play in like back-to-back gun rounds like that. But especially if you have an AK, why not look for a fair fight in Palace, see if you can land a headshot, and if you don't, it gets you all that early info you need. We're seeing NIP run a lot more of these very early round info plays than Faze were running. And Faze can't seem to figure it out right now. Hard read from NIP, not enough utility for them to really do anything on their approach to the B bomb site, especially when running into the stack. And you saw the buy flash up on screen briefly. It's not great for Faze.
I think the execute we saw onto the A bomb site from Faze with the pistols and how NIP were able to respond to that with strength was a great indicator to the form of NIP coming into this series. And they might be a similar test coming their way. Again, the grenades go in. And again, NIP will simply abandon all positions on the bomb site. Look at the utility they are sitting on. Faze charging in, pre-firing all the corners, but there's almost no one to shoot. Brolan trying to spray as they cross to the bomb site itself. Twist trying to find an angle to plant the bomb. That's karrigan who gets dropped. Now the retake is on. Can they find a similar success then? Brolan creeping, poking towards connector, finding Rain, looking for one more in the smoke. 5 on 3, no answer from Faze just yet. Brolan running low on bullets though, and maybe there's something for Brokey. Takes control of jungle. Twist drop though. Robson, Brokey remain. Bomb plant isn't enough here for Faze. They need more than that. A lot more damage as well. Forced off the angle is Brokey. Bomb is still ticking though. But still look at all this util. Might be a desperate one. Rob's traded. Then they've got the numbers to do this, but Brokey might have the angle. He has no idea. They're defusing the bomb and Hampus is ready for him. These retakes, well, you heard it from them. Need I say anything else? They're coming out on top.
Yeah, exactly. Brolan is doing a solid job at just keeping jungle there, just making sure that they're close enough around that bomb site to be able to retake. This time, Brokey did well to actually push into jungle and cause a little bit of chaos, but it's still not enough. NIP still have those strength in numbers moving to the bomb site. And you see at the end, Brokey just being covered off from both sides. No way in for him. Even a double AWP setup now for NIP. Config really feeling it. Ooh, that's big damage on head trick.
Great synergy from Ninjas in Pajamas. Brolan edging forward. The crouch will conceal him, but they know exactly where he is. Can he bait them into head trick's position? Still aggressive Brolan looking for a player in Palace. And head trick will deliver. It's working greatly, swimmingly for NIP. Monstrous CT side from them all the rounds. And the net's closing on karrigan, unbeknownst to him. Oh, Config hasn't checked the stairs, but karrigan's beyond there anyway. Into the mid position he goes. NIP, shoulder to shoulder on this CT side. Been wonderful to watch. Two-man swing isn't going to work in their favor, and maybe there's a chance for Faze, but the bomb's in T-spawn. It hasn't been seen just yet. Config could have gone there, but he goes towards top mid instead.
Ooh. Thought that miss might be costly, but Config gets away safely. Smoke deployed, and now Config will fall. What a shot from karrigan, but 30 seconds remaining. Faze have got to get a move on here.
But do Faze think that NIP have seen the bomb? Based on Config's position, this could slow them down, but they don't actually have a choice. They're in a 2 versus 1 situation. But as far as they know, it could be 2v2 on the A bomb site. Either way, it is a race, and Brolan's got an off angle, which could be utterly devastating. 10 seconds to find a bomb plant. Someone's got to have their gun out. karrigan swings, and that's going to be the round over. He won't have time to pick it up and plant Rain. A nervous one for NIP, but a successful one nonetheless. No error in this half every round so far.
Yeah, listen, should never have got that close, but at the same time, NIP hold on and secure the round, and that's all they care about. They'll be fine with it, as long as they get the rounds on the board. I don't know if we see Config go back to that AWP. Did not land the shots as cleanly as you would hope. But Brolan's position, just enough to deny the bomb with such little time remaining. And for Faze, they tried something different there. They tried the contact out onto A. They tried to take fights a little sooner in the round. They still got denied. Can Faze find a solution here?
If you ignore that round and the pistol, NIP are averaging surviving these rounds with about 4 players alive. So there are a lot of problems for Faze Clan. They are running into brick walls on their T side of Mirage. Full buy from Faze in round 24. There's been so many breaches of this Palace position. Maybe Brokey will be rewarded. Going very aggressive early with this AWP. He's got support from Rops as well. An angle for the jungle spot. But Brolan is here. Is it a matter of time before he starts to wonder if he should go for a walk in Palace? Rez could be in trouble there. Still alive though, and Brokey could be in trouble. Brolan thinking better of it. Smoke into Palace. In the meantime, Faze have control around that mid position once again. 2 smokes from the CTs at the same time. That could be a bit of panic from NIP. That second smoke not being there could cost them later on. Brolan in a very aggressive position, but Brokey will deliver. Just 1 shot required, a big puncture on the A bomb site, and Hetrick's got so much to do. Maybe this is where Faze finally break the streak from NIP. We've got 3 players remaining, and it seems like this one's already over.
That's what Faze have been wanting. They know that NIP have been going for a lot of these aggressive moves in early round or mid round. They've been waiting to catch one of those aggressive moves out. And this time it's Brolan pushing into ramp. The AWP of Brokey, the perfect weapon to deal with that aggression. And then it makes it so difficult for the following A players on the site to really do a great deal because they're getting pushed from Palace and ramp. They weren't ready for Rops out from Palace so soon. And so finally, Faze score on this T side. This entire map has had a real lack of T round wins, especially in gun rounds. Remember in that first half, NIP got the 4-0 lead off the back of the pistol, but only got 1 round other than that. And this is Faze's first T round entirely. So it's been a very CT-dominated map so far. But Faze need to change that here if they want a chance to steal away NIP's pick.
It's been so good how NIP have limited the variance in those force buy rounds. More protocol than IT support. They will lead by 2 as both squads will be on the full buy with buckets of utility. Not shy to go aggressive is Rez. Seen so much aggression from Faze in that mid position. Often uncontested. This time they've got an early focus towards this B bomb site. Speaking of protocol, Hampus and Hetrick will have a lot to do. Just a sliver of a gap, but he's moving to a more aggressive position. Hampus with that molly below the window to compromise the angles, but they know Faze Clan are here. Config's here as well now, moving towards default, just creeping through. Hampus running distraction. Config will drop the bomb carrier as well. Rops and Brokey remain. There's the opening frag. Doesn't last very long though. Faze on the floor again.
That was so interesting. That was a mid-site smoke thrown by Faze, and it seemed like Hampus got all the benefit from it because he just spotted that foot below the box on the edge of the smoke. Look at this kill. Just spots it and then instantly transfers up to the player boosted who was trying to swing on towards him. And that small moment, what does he even see?
Bro, I need 2 pairs of glasses to see that. I can't see what he's seeing. That's the nerdiest angle I have seen today.
That's crazy. I wonder if he did see. I mean, there's a chance that's just like prep. There is a chance. But honestly, these pros are so good, I wouldn't be surprised if he saw something. A sliver of a foot. Either way, what a round for NIP. Just 2 away from picking up their map pick. Faze still with a bye for now, but this is a key round for Faze. If they lose this without a bomb plant, they wouldn't have a great buy into the final round. $20 kills for Hetrick, 21 for Config. Outfragging anyone on the Faze side. And that flash not good enough to get Hetrick off that angle. Clean man advantage for NIP.
Rops back on his lurking duties then. One of the best Can he find a way? Can he find a key to unlock this half for Faze? Because they are still just getting started as far as the rounds are concerned. NIP are almost at the finish line. Config surely gets a frag here. Bomb. Oh, the crouch peek from Brokey. Perfect. They've spotted the bomb, but there's a chance. Moving through connector now on Faze. And Rez has got a lot of work to do. Very concerned about the bomb site itself. Will alert come from connector? In the smoke now. Twist is here as well. Carrigan's been dropped in the meantime. They'll exchange sides and Twist will deliver. 3 on 2. Not done yet. Hampus creeping forward on short. Twist going to see where he is. That's where he is. And now it's a 2 on 2. Head trick with angles though. And how do you plant this bomb? 29 seconds for Rops to solve this puzzle. Molotov towards CT. Bad angle for head trick, but delivers regardless. And that's game point for NIP.
Head trick so reliable for NIP. Landing shots consistently. And it looked like Brokey had done enough on the Faze side. That second shot onto Config was so well done on the crouch peek. But still, NIP able to hold on. That first shot was brilliant. You see there, the crouch just enough. But not enough to win the round because Head Trick comes back in from CT and lands some brilliant shots of his own.
Cracks a smile. Great focus from the young lads. That is not an easy frag to find, especially with the caliber of opponent on the server. But all credit to NIP. They have dropped one round in a landslide, an avalanche of rounds in this half. Still, Faze are only 4 away from overtime. Two players towards A for Faze, including the bomb carrier. Tells you all you need to know. Again, a swing from Faze, heading towards Con. There's no one to challenge it. Smokes up on that short position. And they've got a lurker in Brokey as well, but who gets the first kill? It will be Faze. Rez is here in CT, trying to slow things down if he can. Flanks on the way from Hampus as well. Bombs planted early enough though. 5 on 3 as Brokey drops Config. This is proving to be very expensive for NIP. Not too late for Faze to have a run. Still going for it at NIP. Rez and Hampus combine. 2 versus 3. 22 HP for Hampus, and he's out of there. There's more work to be done for Faze to bleed the money from Ninjas, but they're not out of this one yet.
Yeah, Faze using a lot of their smokes early in that round, a few of them towards mid, and then having that one smoke towards A just allows them to close the distance quickly. That was always the aim in this round. Because their utility was low, they said, let's just try and run at NIP as soon as possible. And if NIP don't instantly respond with nades and try and slow us down, we've got a good chance. And that means that Faze are now 3 away from taking us to overtime. Still money for NIP for now. That could run dry if Faze continue their success. Do we see Faze continue with the pace, though? Because now they've got the full nades. Or do they want to go back to something slower? Pace again.
Oh, Twist!
Wow.
Oh, Twisty! No. So many targets for him, but the mouse, he goes flying in more ways than one. Still, they're at the advantage. 4 on 3. Hampus showing presence towards short. Can they figure out the setup of the remainder of this squad? Head Trick is lurking somewhere, and that often proves to be painful. Oh, misses the flick. He's jumping as well. Config makes his way towards CT, and there are huge problems for NIP. It's time to convert this map, but their money's running low now. This is the break that Faze have been looking for. Config's got 150 in the bank. Problems are on the way for NIP. They really need to keep this AWP alive. And I think Faze know that as well.
Loving these faster pushes from Faze. It's working out nicely for them. NIP can't seem to stop the quick aggression right now. And Hampus has to be careful. Rain dialed in, hits the headshot. It's not just the pace from Faze, it's the players stepping up with some incredible shots. Even when Twist goes down, trades favor Faze. And Head Trick trapped in the corner. They don't realize he's on that side, and he will get away with the AWP.
Man, it's hard to kill. So the AWP is alive. Hampus has got 6k plus. Headtrick has got 6k plus. NIP need to decide how best to use their money in the rounds that remain. 2 chances to win this in regulation. Oh, it could have been even more devastating. You can see the continuation spray in connector from Twist. If he found a second kill there in 180s, then that would have been quite something. But Faze have got to focus on the next round. As nice as that was, there is more work to be done by Faze. The timeout has come and gone now. And NIP have got quite an interesting buy to offer to Faze Clan. A difference in approach in round 29.
I don't think we've seen that AWP of Config do a great deal so far, but this would be the moment. Building into round 29, they go in on this round. If NIP lose it, their bye would suck in round 30. This is their last best opportunity to close in regulation. And Config has taken that AWP so that he can solo this B bomb site. Meanwhile, Faze going for that mid control. NIP not wanting to fight mid this time. I think NIP are taking a riskier setup stack towards A because they realize there's a chance they're going to want to save their guns if the round goes wrong. So they've decided to take a little risk in this round instead, but that means that Config is completely isolated. He's on an island on that B site.
He has a smoke though. Question is, what does he do with it? Of course, it's common to put it between the wall of the site and the van to help your teammates rotate in, but indeed, will they? Oh, we've got shenanigans. We've got shenanigans. That's a swing and a miss from Config though, and that will be a fatal mistake. How much do they invest into this one, NIP?
I think they should save. Yeah, I think this was the whole plan here. You take a risk in this round. If it doesn't work, you just say, listen, we have to save. We can't afford to go into round 30 with $2,400 each. So they decide to take a risk in this one instead. They feel like this is one they can afford to take that risk in. Now, this only works if you actually do get to save those guns. And FaZe might be aware of that fact. They've got nothing to lose. Everyone in Palace.
Now they can throw a few people at it, but they will need their nades for the next round as well. It's going to be a very interesting final round of regulation.
Don't want to give the AKs to the CTs either if you can't afford to. Just the 1 kill for Rain. But that might make a difference in the buy from NIP. Oh, that's the shot you want to land if you're Config. If you get that kill, maybe you feel comfortable playing back from the bomb site. But I'm going to be honest, I don't think this AWP from Config has made the difference he's wanted it to. He's picked it up a couple of times, hasn't been able to land the shots, and that means we go to round 30.
The desk survives as well. French guns are out for the Swedish, Scandic side rather, of NIP. Oh, Faze running straight into that grenade, but limited damage to their fortune. Minute 30 on the clock, presence shown. Business as usual for Faze in that mid position. But what of NIP? They've got 3 players in the sandwich. There's almost a picnic going on there. It seems they will be proactive towards the ramp, but Rops will be waiting for them. How far do they go then? Checking their angles. Brolan creeping forward alone. Rops showing just a shoulder pad there, taking no damage.
Quick response from FaZe to move up mid. After seeing that ramp aggression, they decide they can take map control elsewhere. The bomb's still in spawn. FaZe have done so well to get to this point. They might make it further. 1-for-1 trade early. That bomb will be recovered shortly. And again, the minimap leaves Hampus so vulnerable on the B bomb site. He has to be an absolute hero here.
He has one of the 2 kits. So if he falls, there will be one on the bomb site. And that bomb is headed on the way. Smoke top connector. And Rain starting to creep over as well. Rez Wondering what's happening in jungle, but far away from Hampus. He needs a multi-frag here, and he knows they're coming from both ways, but Rain has been dropped by Brolan. That saves Hampus. He can focus on the apartments. He delays for a few seconds, enough for Rez to get here. 16 seconds on the clock. Rez has a wonderful angle. This could be a catastrophe for FaZe Clan. Indeed, it will be 1v3 for Brokey now. The end of the line for FaZe on Mirage is here. MIP squeeze through after a comeback on Mirage.